Hey, bales of hay. Welcome to the show. Wake the farm up, maintaining ground. This is episode 5 of season 2, recorded live at the lab, CETA, December 12th, 2022. Support our show on the PayPal link. Merch is going to be coming soon, and winter tour dates to be announced soon too. You should come to one of the shows. I want to shout out a good thanks to the production crew and all the dedicated fans. This is your host, Ande the Elf. And here's an example of what happens at the beginning or after our show.
We up and doing this and smoking on that goody hay. No, we don't play. Yeah, we don't play, baby. That one day like we got it. Yeah, we party every single day. Hitting up the grass, hitting up the forage. I'ma guarantee, man, we about to be on some forage. Yeah, you know we're gonna get some overture. We up and eating up the mushrooms called origins. Yeah, we up and straight on the natural highness. I don't even care you call me your highness. I am the king. That was the king shit. I'm not on king shit. Don't walk around here. You ain't walk around the booth. Yeah, you know you're smelling so good. When we up here going through the hood instead of the wood. So that's exact fact. We changed the hood for the woods. Now we up in the woods for it really good. So yeah. Up here eating natural things, I'm on a natural thing. I'm on a natural diet, tired now. Can't speak this thing, I'm up in freestyle until they used to call me king. Now I'm just a god, how I come out here. Yeah, I'm up here thinking like, I'm about to go and find something in my yard. I'm about to go ahead and make something like a tea or a brew. Something I can go and sip on too. And maybe add a little bit of spice and a little ginger, a little bit of garlic too. Something wild onion, right in the back, yeah, no, what kind of fun. But then once you bring it there, it's kind of
Shazam, raspberry jam. That was major. Just an example of some of the things that we get into before and after the show. So come on down sometime. Enjoy the experience. We got some amazing guests today as we get serious and seriously funny, exploring loops and loopholes. We'll be talking with Doan of Fresh Tomorrow, which is in Morrow, Ohio, near the Little Miami River. We got Simon Burkey, the tree climber. We got all kinds of stories that'll just keep us hanging from a line. And we got a short bit here with Howie, too, who wants to loop in some forest garden conversations. So we're going to have a good time. We got a fun crowd. This is like regular, like festival clothes for me, because you can just do anything and then like sit. The place was packed. We got people up in the balconies. It's crazy. Support our show on the PayPal link. Be a sponsor. Maybe we'll mention your business on the show, or you could be on the show. Need a podcast? What better way? We keep it serious and seriously funny. Do you got what it takes to make me say wake the farm up? So you gotta jump for joy every time you hear somebody say, Hope Day Preppers. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. I'm jumping up and down. I'm jumping up and down.
Message all around town. Check it out. Wake the farm up. Go on, get up. Bring it out.
I've been here to tell you something. But I'm here to hear something from you. From you.
Quick. Do it. Take it out.
There you go.
Yo, so something we're looping in here is we are eating oyster mushrooms, and we're trying to see if we think they actually taste like oysters. It's decided that if you make it right. Welcome to this uniquely intelligent comedy show with Wake the Farm Up Yeah, we're just freestyling and getting ready for the show. If you want to get right into the show, go to the minute notes in the description. You can click right to the first conversation.
Yeah, seriously though, where Andy? Where'd that motherfucker be? I know, man. He just disappears like he goes rogue. Hold up. Yeah. It's you, baby.
Me. Oh.
Yeah.
I never even heard the song. Let me hear it a little bit.
Never thought about it. He's up again. Wait to farm up freestyle. Never thought about it. Get him, dog. Talk to me.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't stop. Don't stop till the beat drops. Stop. Gonna stop. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. Hey, waking up. What we gonna do? Gonna get on out to this crew. Going out now. Can't stop now. Gonna drop the beat in the field in the bird now. What we doing? Planting freedom. Living life, living large though. And can't stop. Ain't gonna hit me now. You gonna rock with the farm.
Here we go, now it's time for another show. I don't know how it's gonna flow. We just go and flow and ride it like we know. Cause we got our things coming out like we know. Southern Captain with the water made of a rainbow. Bringing here to this night, we got this first time, we got the 2-minute calibrated sand dial glass piece here. So once again, another fascinating part of the visual experience here that we get to imagine, you know, and like you get to like feel and touch this, and like maybe one day you can come and try to make me say, "Wake the farm up!" in some crazy new way that I've never done before, or maybe you'll just totally bomb and like I'll be like, what? Shut the farm up. Wake the farm up, maintaining ground. We got a wonderful audience out here tonight. I mean, who's in the balcony tonight? Wow. Okay. We got like food service back here. They're bringing everybody oyster mushrooms around that have been just cooked really simply in a really sea salty kind of way and make them taste really like oysters. That's the idea. So we want to like find out, you know, like that's one of the polls here. We got like there's all these people back here in the orange vests, and they got their little notebooks. Just let them know, like yes, no, or you think it doesn't really even matter. Yeah, we like to have more than 2 choices on it. You know, everything's not always just such a yes, no kind of thing. You know, maybe you eat it and you don't even really think about oysters or if they taste like them or not. You're just like, this is fucking awesome. So I'm gonna eat this oyster mushroom now, and then tell this guy in the orange vest. Okay, so all you people up there in the balconies, I need you to be doing that too. All right? How we doing up there? All right. We're gonna have a good time here. So some of the other things going around in the food service here, we got there's these like really sweet like treats that taste like just amazing. They're made with a Manchurian Viburnum extract with an Everclear that's been used like a vanilla extract cooked into the food. And the Manchurian cherry, it has all kinds of antioxidant properties, and it's really good for keeping your mood up in the winter time. And when you mix it with a little bit of sugar, which is what makes it really crunchy in there too, which is like, I love that stuff. It's an amazing plant, but we'll get down to the tropics and talk about sugar cane sometime.
Oh,
Yeah, more on that later.
Yeah, Manchurian Viburnum, that's just quite a little bit more fascinating because we can grow that here. And since we can grow that here, we want to talk about it. You know, of course, originally it's from Manchuria. And you know, man, where that's from, sure you had to come on, yeah, check it out. So, it's a viburnum, so you can kind of tell like its shape, you know, they come off like opposite branching buds. really beautiful plant, get a flower, and they get a seed that when you crush it, it smells like vanilla. And so you can just put that in bourbon, or you can put it in Everclear and make an extract just like you would a vanilla extract. Very similar properties too for how it combines with sugar. It helps with the cinnamon that's in there too. So there's some cinnamon leaves that are going around on the carts too, and you can try those leaves. They're edible. They're from the top of a cinnamon tree. We're going to be talking about some tree trimming here today, so I thought it'd be appropriate to bring some cinnamon from inside my greenhouse, because when it gets to the top of the greenhouse, you just got to chop it off and do something with it. So I dry it out, powder it, and make all kinds of stuff with the leaves as well as the twigs.
You know, I need to be fly.
So what else we got back there? We got some, oh yeah, I see these people down here. There's a tea lounge. They look pretty chill and excited for the show. You guys like that?
Yeah. That tea lounge looks dope though.
Yeah, they got that Tulsi Tisane.
Swell, yeah!
Holy basil. So this variety, there's several different varieties of holy basil. So this is the Tulsi Kapoor, which is probably the most popularly grown holy basil in North America. There are several other varieties though. Like there's the Rama basil, and there's another one they do call the cinnamon basil, funny enough. So there's this whole pantheon of different kinds of holy basils, and they all look significantly different, have different colors and scents, different heights in which they can reach to. But this is the Tulsi Kapoor, which is an amazing adaptogenic herb, which means it helps your body adapt to whatever environmental stresses you may have. You know, it could be like an emotional stress. It could be, fatigue, so you can have it in the morning and it kind of wakes you up. It's nighttime now, you can have it can make you nice and cozy and just like chill out. That's why I'm so chilled out right now. You have no idea. I probably had like 10 of these cups of these things, and it's amazing. You can have a lot of it, and it's really refreshing. And there are some water. Yeah, of course, there's the people there. They love their water. How you guys like that water out there? Water.
Tastes great.
Appreciate that. So some of the big themes here I've been wanting to explore a bit more. There's this concepts of loops. So in tonight's show we have a tree climber that's going to be coming up. Maybe some other guests will come up tonight too. They feel like in the mood for like a 2-minute bit to try to get me to say wake the farm up. And in uninterrupted 2 minutes, you can say whatever you want, talk about whatever you want until the sand dial drops, and then we're gonna all get to talking. It's gonna be a good time.
So have you checked that thing for authenticity, and does it work? Is it actually 2 minutes? Have we timed it? And
I've tested it with 3 different devices that calibrate 2 minutes of time, and it worked.
so it's confirmed that it is 2 minutes.
It's been certified by several different elf tribes and nations across
Which
the
ones?
planet.
Do you have any of the paperwork on you from them, or which ones? Could you at least name
Real
some
quick,
people or anything?
can I just talk briefly about this concept here?
Please
Restraint.
do.
Can I talk about restraint for just 1 second? I'm feeling.
Oh yeah.
So this little hourglass thing, same thing that Twitter does, same thing that really YouTube should do is they restrain them to 140 characters. Because we all got a lot to say, but what are you gonna say in 140 characters? That is what matters. It's editing. It's the thought beyond the thought. And I love this concept.
Yeah. So to loop that all back around. Yeah.
Word.
So to loop that all back around here, we're going to be exploring these loopholes. So one of the loopholes and loops that I've been exploring, I really like the concept of loopholes, right? It's like when somebody says something is this way, unless that one small thing that could happen where everything lines up, where there's a loophole and it happens a different way. And it's fascinating. That's how life pretty much started, according to most physicists and science as we know it. How photosynthesis started was just one of those chance loopholes where life was made. started to like formulate energy of its own, like self-contained inside of little cells that were just like collecting sunlight and turning it into energy to replicate themselves, floating around in the sea. And that life, you know, had a sunlight consciousness. It had stardust in it. It was like wanting to do more than just be these one cells, and it wanted to develop and grow into the vast numerous things that we are like existing with now, and all the things that existed that don't exist anymore that got to exist on this planet in forms of life, and creating how it is today from their interactions with each other, the way they rip the bark off of a certain tree and not another tree, the way they stomped a certain flower and not another sedge, and just how it all, like their manure would mix into the certain ecosystem to develop into what that would turn into. So there's this whole like flow of how all that goes through together. Nice. Well, okay. We're just trying to relax here, though. So, what the farm was that anyway? We need to like. I think this thing just needs to come off from there. Yeah, this is like sitting still. Now we got. I think we got a very, very eager special guest tonight. How's everybody feeling about like our guests that we'll be having here tonight? You're excited to see what comes along with it? Alright. So moving along here in the show, to my left, stage right or whatever that's called here, we have Ryan Doan, longtime friend, and has been on the podcast before, episode 17 of season 1. It was a fascinating show. It was really fun to be there. I remember Rico was like going crazy over on the side with the freaking barbecues and shit.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. The Chuck-a-log. So, welcoming Ryan down here, we're going to give him his 2 minutes uninterrupted, and then we'll get to ask him all kinds of questions, and I'm sure we'll have some amazing conversations and flows coming through here.
So you don't want me to talk about loops? Okay. Alright.
Alright, and loop-de-doo. The sand timer's turn.
So I read a book called The Eternal Golden Braid, and it basically the author realized the connection between Johann Sebastian Bach, Gert the mathematician, and MC Escher. They had the same brain. They expressed it in different ways. They were obsessed with looping patterns. In fact, the Fibonacci sequence being the most beautiful of them all. That equation that describes the next number. That's how my brain works. I basically see patterns and then I project my life into a future where I see myself being. So the loop that I'm in right now, and I've been in for 13 years, growing my food, trying to just sustain myself, to show people a different way forward. It's a good loop. I'm not even remotely bored. It's been 13 years. There's so many adventures. There's so much fun. And there's so much just reward getting to meet all these beautiful people who see how we live and want to be a part of it. So I encourage you guys to find those patterns in your life. There's patterns everywhere. There's people, social patterns, how people engage with you, time after time after time. That's friendship. And finding that loop and finding, that flow with that person. So it's, fascinating to me, and I haven't even started. I'm only 43 years old. So I just, so thankful to be here. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys tonight. So thanks for having me. I don't need all the time. There's plenty of time.
What?
Never thought about it. Never thought about it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
Yeah, you got me going there. That was good, dude. really like how you opened up with the patterns and like the different shapes and forms and how that different brains can like be affected by these things and then go into them with different angles and perspectives. And then you reflected on how you've been bringing that into your life and your Fibonacci's and spiralations of how you're flowing and making things work and grow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell me about how these next spirals coming up are feeling for you right now.
Okay. I met a man recently who has dedicated himself to transplanting hairs from one part of certain men's head to other parts of their head, so that way they don't have shame. And
Like my nose hairs?
no, it's more like from this part of your head to this part of your head. And these people pay him cash, and he's done it for 40 years. So he has helped me buy the building that I was leasing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a miracle.
Here you go.
Straight up miracle.
Here you go, dude.
Like literally.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm in a period of thanks right now, and I'm trying to take this gift, which was an enormous gift, and do the most with it. And I want the momentum from this, my projection to never stop, ever, beyond my life. So I have those kind of aspirations. I want to do the most with it, and I'm like knee deep in this project. It's just started. it's so much fun. So
You got like
Yeah.
yeah. Like I see like some
Yeah.
like under your pants here. Is that
yeah,
from
there's some,
some?
yeah, I was starting
yeah.
a fire. I was starting a fire. We was cold outside.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, you know how to start a fire and stay warm, huh? Tell me like when's the last time you really had to make fire stay warm? Like really.
Oh,
had to?
really, really? All right.
Like tonight was fun, right? Like
Yeah.
you were fine.
All right, it was
Like,
fun.
Yeah. It was like a cupcake or something to have a fire tonight, right?
Yeah. So, a recent fire story is I had a bunch of dudes over to the farm, and these are all guys who need to escape every once in a while, and they like to come to my farm, and I like to have them. They have kids, and they have suburban or city life, and they have maybe even pent up feelings, and they just need to come out and be with me on my farm, and I love to have them. So when I cut down honeysuckle, I'll make these enormous piles in anticipation of these evenings. And we're standing there on a fire that you can't even get like 6 or 7 feet from, or you will burn to death. And
That'll transplant some of your hairs just like
Yeah.
away.
And the whole fire has people around it.
Oh, okay.
And that's how many
So-
people were there.
Is
And
it like a mini Burning Man? Or?
yeah, but we
Okay.
was burning honeysuckle. And I threw in some logs that way it would last into the evening in case people needed to talk, and they do. As the evening goes on, you know, people bare their soul. And there are things that are said, and it's an incredible amount of beauty.
Honeysuckle.
So that's one fire story. But then some of my favorites happened up in Boundary Waters, where I would take men up to Minnesota, and we go out to the wilderness at least a full day, maybe 2 days away from human contact. So, and we live just in nature for a week, and I show them that it's really very feasible. Totally, 100% easy. Make it as easy as possible. By the end of the week, they're running camp, they're catching the fish, they're filleting the fish, they're making the stir fry, they are living. And I just
Like what other kind of things do you guys eat besides fish?
So I'll take things like potatoes and carrots and things like root crops that store well but can easily be cooked, rice, beans,
So you pack those with you?
dehydrated things in the pack. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We all take packs.
Packed.
So, yeah, that's some of my favorite fire stories happen there, man. It's beautiful.
Nice. I remember a fire story where you and I were with a group of people. We invented a game called Chuck-a-Log.
Yeah, go get old Chuck-a-Log.
Because there were so many logs.
Yep.
So we were just like seeing how far we could throw them from.
Into the fire, chucking them. You'd be like, this is the best technique. You gotta like really get down and like really just like
special movements here. And then you just get like this massive amount of sparks that come out.
yeah.
Or it doesn't make it because you did some goofy ass way of throwing the log, but you won in that realm, you know? Like everybody's like, yeah, that was the best form.
But not as
I need to
functional
try it.
because it didn't make
I want to
fire.
try it and see if it works for me.
I can do it
with
better.
an improved little arm
Right,
flick.
it's the slight adjustment.
Just that one little extra flick and chuck the log.
Got him.
You gotta run up there and get that one. It's not gonna burn.
Nope. I'll just kick it in. But Andy wants to be a little more flair, you know, just a little more.
That's why Doan doesn't have a beard or a mustache anymore right now, because these fire parties he has, he gets too close. He had to have this dude like install new hair on his head too after one time.
That's why it looks so good. It ain't real. No, it's the vegetables. Seriously, Andy, this guy right here, he has a special place in my heart. When I was first beginning my journey to get away from the Excel spreadsheets and working for psychopaths, I met this guy, and he gave me a confidence that I knew that I would be able to survive. Like, no matter what happens, I would be okay. I had this, and I think so many people have this fear, like, can I just be outside and live and just survive? And yes, you can. You totally can. Like, dude, you have shown people, like, for decades, that it's not just possible, like, you thrive in this environment. So, dude, you're like a legend, bro. Like a legend.
Yeah, I remember one time not that long ago, you and I were out in the forest up by Morrow, by the river somewhere by there, and you're like, when you gonna like quit going by elf and just going by like you're a wizard now or some shit? I'm just like, okay, I've been rolling with that, you know, it definitely works, you know, I roll with my time, you know, there's that Gandalf saying, wizard's never late. The wizard always shows up exactly when they intend to.
Boom, boom. It's true, bro. I mean, what I call the wizards in my life there's just a handful who, if I have a question, which I'm not saying it's rare, but I don't have as many, and I go to just a handful of people because I think that they might know, and you're one of those people. And you don't know everything, but like there's a good chance that you're going to put me in the right direction.
I know in your larger scale field vegetable production, you've worked with Jeff Poppins quite a bit.
He's one of them.
A very interesting writer. He's the Barefoot Farmer. It's a wonderful read about living off land and growing all the things you need and doing biodynamic preps and all kinds of things of that nature. Is that something that you've been working in your systems as biodynamic preps as well?
100%. I did arrive at the conclusion, because I don't want to raise animals, is I just buy his little biodynamic prep balls from him, and he just mails them to me.
Dude, you just get his balls.
Genius. Why not just take the end product? He's got the cattle. He makes way more of these biodynamic preps than he needs, so he just sells them to me. Wonderful.
That's great. Do you like just like put them out like little balls, or like they all have different little preps? You swirl them in the bucket?
Well, I don't follow all the rules. I mean, I bubble it. You know, I like basically take this tar ball and then take little chunks of it and use water to create as good as I can, basically something that'll go through the backpack sprayer. So that just takes time, and you can use little. So you had a used food processor that you didn't really care about. You could just kind of muck it up its last few years by basically making biodynamic preps that you can just put in the backpack sprayer. And I spray it with the fish emulsion and the algae, the kelp. And why not, bro? I'm like not trying to do different sprays. It's feeding time, so they get it all. They get it all at the same time.
Yum, yum, yum. Yeah,
they're
just like
just
so
going
good.
nuts. They're going nuts.
So can you tell us a bit about how he makes the balls at all?
I know a little bit about it. I think you take this should make sense to you guys. There are certain plants that are called biodynamic accumulators. So they have deep tap roots that go way down into the clay, and they pull up the minerals from below, and they pull it in the form of their vegetation and their flowers. So certain plants literally scour the soil for certain minerals. It's the truth. say iron, potassium, magnesium, all these different minerals that these plants literally, they're specialists. Imagine them like little excavators. They go down into the soil, they pull up all this beautiful minerals, and certain plants have heavier ratios of certain minerals. So you take these plants and you put them with manure from a cow that's already got some biology with it, and you stuff it into like a horn or a bladder. And here's why I have concluded that both of these make sense. The horn, what Steiner said happens in the horn is the planetary forces are concentrated in the spiral shape, which is the Fibonacci sequence of capturing. That's what Fibonacci does so well. It's the reason why the plants follow that sequence is it's because the most efficient at capturing sunlight, period. There's no more efficient way to gather photons of sunlight and turn it into calories. It is not, you can't get better than the Fibonacci. So that's why we see it so much in nature.
Look at these people in the balcony up here. They're just like...
Dude, I just see a dude's head explode. Hey, where's the janitor?
Wow.
Yeah, literally. Get that guy. He's dead. He's like... Another guy's got his brain spilling out his ear, bro. Get him a towel.
I'm not sure if that was what was happening, but like, I thought maybe they were like spilling some spaghetti or something.
No, it ain't spaghetti.
Italian food or
it's like
something.
brains.
Like, yeah.
Hey Ryan, questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
we got people down here in the symphony
Make them sit
section.
down first. Be a gentleman. Okay, don't push that girl. Literally. Okay, what's your question?
They need to calm down. The orange vests are getting excited back there.
We want to know what plants are good biodynamic accumulators.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, there's things like yarrow.
I was almost there.
Yeah.
I was almost
Yeah,
there.
I saw it coming. I was like, I think that they did the there's more Tulsi coming around. There's cards. I see them pulling out.
Right.
They got the cue. They got the cue from me already.
Gotcha.
Hey.
Okay. Dandelion. Dandelion. You know that taproot on a dandelion? It's like a big old bam compared to the top. The bottom is the most impressive part, right? Yarrow. Nettle. Stinging nettle is like a powerhouse. It literally is the most superfood of superfoods. It's got so much of all of them. You could pretty much just eat that. You know, and there are ways to make it less abrasive. You just dehydrate it and powderize it, and then the little nettles go away.
You can eat other things with it, and it's really good. So like, it's a good way to like get a variety of things, but it's a nutritive food.
Yeah. So it kind of has just like a passive flavor. It's not overwhelming in either direction. So I look at it as like a passive way to consume minerals. It's like your multivitamin. You could pretty much just eat stinging nettles and be okay.
It's like a nutrient net that goes through the soil, as well as growing to become a material that you could make as a net.
True.
Yeah, as we've mentioned before about, like we could make nets and they might take like 3 weeks of work or something, and like we could sell them for like $1.99 or something. Yeah,
hey, here's another one, you guys.
About that business proposal of mine?
I have. Here's another one, guys, you may have not thought about. Another really cool accumulator in nature is the chicken. If you had to, for example, go into the soil and scour for calcium, can you imagine a more efficient way than what the chicken does? It eats worms and weeds and basically poops out every single day an egg. We love the eggs, but the shell is straight calcium. What a miracle! What a miracle! There's a little bird that goes around and just tick, 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 and then accumulates calcium for us. So that's the way I want you guys to start thinking about certain plants and certain animals. They have these very specific functions. It's only up to us to understand these functions and then put them into play, doing their jobs. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
I want to know, like, what do you do with the eggshells? Like, you're like, okay, now I got this, like, you can crush it up into powder, and then what do you do with it at that point?
Certain plants that actually make you quite a bit of money, like tomatoes and peppers, consume quite a bit of calcium. Same with corn. They just literally pull it out of the ground. Do you guys know that when a tomato splits, you know the little, like, oh, it got cut, but then you've seen it where it tries to heal itself and sends out the little fibers, the white fibers that will fill the gap? That is calcium. The sheen on a plant that makes it feel waxy like you can tell ones that don't have a lot of it, they just turn to mush really quick. But the plants that have the thicker skin and they hold longer, they like the canners, they got that real waxy skin. That is primarily calcium. So that's what I do. I powderize these shells and then I'll put them in the hole when I put my tomatoes in the ground because it's just basically water soluble calcium.
Now you know what, Bobby? You know what trees really do a good job accumulating calcium?
What?
Is the dogwood.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's not just their bark, it's their leaves. Like I break up them like a bunch of like cuttings from a bunch of dogwoods and put them around tomato plants and like all the blossom red. Like just like the rot on the blossoms that was there just went away.
True.
They soaked it up like a tea after the first rain.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was just pretty magical.
Okay.
Calcium accumulator though, every plant's accumulating like a higher concentration of some forms or another, and it's really fascinating and fun to explore all the different plants and even different animals and what their excrements are accumulating. It's fascinating stuff to really understand the whole puzzle and what's really going on out here. We want y'all to come out here. Yeah, you guys want to come out there? Yeah.
Alright, okay, I'll bring the buses. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Yes, you too, sir. You too.
That lady is like where do I get tickets? Or, you know, I don't know, we'll have to do that. That'd be
Alright.
great, yeah.
Okay, well, we got discount codes and coupon codes, all that, so.
Okay.
Everybody can come. There ain't no reason to fight. I'll bring the buses.
Yeah, tell us about the cafe Fresh Tomorrow. We've talked about it on the episode before, but I'd love to hear a little bit about like what kind of foods you guys are making. Like give us a little quick recipe rundown. Just maybe I'm feeling a little hungry right now and it just sounds like it'd be fun to like just fantasize like a few things that you can eat just when you're biking along a bike trail along the Little Miami River and
I'll do what I'll do real quick. I'll do the rundown of the menu real quick, but I want to talk more about like vertical integration. That's the buzzword tonight. Vertical integration. So, real quick on the menu, let's start with breakfast. We have this thing called the Sammy. It's a breakfast sandwich. It's like a bacon, egg, and cheese on Dave's Organic with my smoked pepper ketchup, which doesn't exist. Literally created that. Smoked peppers. And then make a ketchup. Yeah. On an egg bacon sandwich, with or without cheese, and with greens, of course. I put
some fancy ketchup too, grown with some calcium-rich tomatoes.
I got a pancake with apple butter in it, and put bananas on top, bro. Literally, banana pancake with apple butter in the actual bag.
Wait, you got bananas?
True story.
You growing bananas now?
No, that's one of the things I do get from the boxes.
Okay.
I just go ahead and buy bananas.
Yeah, so it's like a staple,
so cheap.
keep the place running with some cool food.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
So smoothies, you know, remember years ago when me and you talked about turning money, taking weeds and turning them into money?
Yeah.
And making greens powders and stuff.
Yeah.
I did it, and it's selling out.
Tell me about your green powder real quick, too.
Okay, what's in it?
Yeah, we're going to integrate this into the whole conversation vertically.
Okay,
No.
I got you.
I'm glad, I love when my guests tell me what position they prefer, vertically or horizontally. So we'll try to make sure we integrate that into more episodes from now on.
Definitely. We're going to stand up. Oh man, that's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, this green powder, this super green powder. Yeah,
powder.
you know I like that. I got jars of that. Making stuff.
Okay, so for years I grew, gorgeous greens and then watch it not sell. I'm like, this has to be another way. So I take the greens, like for kale, I strip it off the stalk, dehydrate it, powderize it in the NutriBullet, and I save things by type in gallon bags. So like for example, I'll have powderized kale by the gallon bag. And then when it's time to make my product, I take a little bit of this, a little bit of chard, a little bit of parsley, a little bit of basil, a little bit of mint, a little bit of stinging nettles, a little bit of, I figured out how to sweeten it up. You can take apple chips, get them real dry, powderize them into apple powder. Now you have a sweetener to your greens powder. So did the same with raspberries, did the same with strawberries. I'm using natural sweeteners and basically my greens and things from the woods to create a greens powder. Putting that into my smoothies, which are all my berries and some bananas from the store.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Some oat milk, honey, and these smoothies are selling out, bro. Literally, I can't make enough of the greens powder. It's just
That's smooth.
every week. Yeah.
That's smooth.
Yeah, people are eating plants, bro. Yeah. Drop the mic. Bam.
Yeah.
Got him. Got him.
They're eating real plants.
Right, thank you. Yes. 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 Plants, thank you. Right.
Yeah, we got some people like
Yes, ma'am.
down
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
symphony section.
I just kind of want to start off and just thank you for all like the information and the knowledge that you're sharing. Like I'm changing tomorrow. Like,
My pleasure.
the things that I've wasted, like, and that's why I so enjoy this coming to this podcast because I learn new information daily. So thank you for just making me like just be more mindful of my footprint, right? And just how I can utilize and repurpose things that I will probably throw away. So thank you for that.
No problem.
My question is for you, because it seemed like you made it to me, and I don't know, it seemed like you made a change. It took you, I don't know if this was something that you were struggling with, or you were like yearning for a difference in your life, or maybe you knew it was a better way. What, did something happen in your life that made you make a difference? Like, can you kind of go back to the beginning, like what made you want to have this lifestyle?
Analyst to farmer.
Loop it.
Okay, let's
Bring us back
perfectly
to-
integrate my life.
Oh, that's
Okay, all right, done.
Loop it all together.
I don't even need a
Vertical
minute for this one.
integration. You'll be
I don't
able to
even
speed
need a
this all
minute.
up. I know he's coming straight from the
Literally.
station. I'm wearing just
I've thought about this many times. People ask me, how come accountant plus farmer? Well, actually, it makes perfect sense from a financial standpoint. In the winter, when there ain't no outside work, I can just do taxes and make plenty of money. In fact, I did it today. I made $30 an hour just sitting there fucking around on a computer. And you know, it's not. I'm not proud of it.
Turn up.
Right.
1, 2,
I'm not
3,
proud
4,
of it,
5.
but you know what it allows me to do? To be free for 9 months of the year. So I'm gonna do it. I just arrived at that conclusion a long time ago. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to be happy, and that's what I want. So I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead. But when I walked away from it,
Up. We love people living passionately and following their heart, dreams, and mind, and putting it all together and making it into a life that gives them a sense of feeling free and dignity and purpose.
thank you.
Yeah.
But when I first,
Thanks for sharing that with all of us out here. This is amazing. We're having a good time, right?
hell yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for showing. Look at this. You really are. We
No,
really
I
appreciate
I
what
see
you're
it.
bringing here.
I see their
for this
faces.
room,
I
yeah.
really appreciate it.
Feel your passion.
I would not be sharing this
Fire for
information
it,
unless I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's not proprietary. I mean,
no.
like, I definitely want to be here to say, like, you could make your own green food powder.
Totally.
But in the meantime,
Easy.
he's got a whole bunch of it, I guess, like, that's available. You can even have it made into a smoothie right away. That's amazing. Go check that out. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're ever in Marl, come see us. But more importantly, back to the lady's question. When the moment, and I had a moment because I grew up free. I grew up in the country working for farmers. I didn't listen to anybody. Nobody told me anything. I only worked for the farmers who understood me. Allow me to work. Allow me to be me. Don't try to control me. Don't try to tell me nothing. Nobody tells me nothing.
No.
However, I will talk to anyone as my 100% equal. I do not care where you came from or what you are or anything about you. Right off the bat, me and you are equals. There is no upper hand, there is only an equal hand. So that's how I approach every single person I meet. So I only have those kind of relationships, and I grew up that way. And then I got into this very aggressive world where we would do horrific things so that way people who already had millions of dollars can get a few million more, and they're never going to stop. They're going to devour the planet. So I realized I cannot facilitate them, and I was the ultimate facilitator. I was an analyst that I solved the trickiest of riddles, and I helped them make more money. So I had to basically remove myself from that situation. And I did it as an honor thing, and I also did it as a freedom thing. Like, I just don't like being told what to do. And I just have to keep reminding myself that I need to be my own boss. I need to be in control of my own destiny. I need not to facilitate for people who are basically gobbling up the planet.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever actually fully explained that, so thank you for asking me that question.
So, like, have we got into the vertical integration for you? Have you been able to integrate that into this vertically throughout this? Or is there something that you're still dying to
I am. I'm itching.
All right. I know we might have a couple more guests here today.
Okay. All right.
So I want to like,
Yeah.
I want you to give us some vertical integration here so bad.
Check this. All right. Listen to me, people. Please listen.
I need it. Come on.
I've seen so many farmers now, and the ones who have made it, let me tell you something. Their gray hairs and their farms are too expensive for their workers to afford. Our system is 100% unsustainable.
Oh, wow.
And it's cracking. And our average age of the U.S. farmer, 58 years old and growing. It's gone from 57 to 58, not down.
Big facts.
So we haven't even slowed the momentum of the trend. That's the position that we're in. So I don't want to bring a heavy burden upon your heart. What I want to, rather, is to realize this is an incredible business opportunity. Because with everything that's unsustainable, we will live. Human beings will figure this out. There is going to be maybe chaos in the meantime. However, if you root yourself and go ahead and jump forward 20 years and start living there now.
We got Hope's Day prepper coming on.
So you eliminate waste in your life.
Hope's Day.
So you eliminate waste in your life because you know in the future waste will not exist. Waste will not exist in the future. So you go ahead and eliminate all your waste in your life. So just doing that alone will lead to some really cool things. So like for example,
Thank you.
tomatoes. I can definitely grow thousands and thousands of pounds of tomatoes. However, there's already tomatoes that go rotten straight to the landfill.
What do I do with those?
So growing more tomatoes is only contributing to the problem. Why don't you build a business around every single tomato you grow, 100% goes into somebody's mouth. 100%. There's not even a slight chance that it won't go into somebody's mouth. And I'll tell you how you do that. You create a product so delicious from your tomato that the end, you are vertically integrated with your own system. You have the little cart that sells the french fries and the ketchup right downtown, and you grow the potatoes and the tomatoes.
Right.
You go ahead and own the whole system, because why give any of that away? You made the magic. You grew potatoes and tomatoes, which are easily turned into other food. Why give the last part away? No, no, no. You cherish that as a blessing from God, and you make sure every drip that comes from your field gets into somebody's mouth. Then you will be very profitable. Only the smartest people will work with you. You will have the most loyal customer base who eat anything that comes out of the ground because they know that you will make it into something delicious. So that is what I'm already doing, and I just want to see that everywhere. I want competition. There's nobody doing what I do. I want peers. I want to be in clubs where there's other people like me. I want to be...
What would you call that club?
Just guys being dudes. I mean, just guys being dudes. And gals, we can have gals. I mean, no, that's a bad example. Alright.
Come on.
That is...
I was starting to feel excluded too. Like, what about elves? Like,
That's true.
elves.
That's
Like,
true. That's my man's group. I'm sorry, that was wrong. That was wrong.
The People's Club.
Okay.
I mean, like in a certain, like, there's different parts of the country, you know, where dude means different things.
Yeah, that was a
I
bad
mean,
example.
honestly, I do call a lot of, like, my women friends, dude. I'll be like, dude, what's going on? How you doing? And they love it. They're usually like, oh, I'm doing good. How you doing? Elf kid.
So what would the club be called? I don't know. I just, like I said, I want to have other people that do what we do, and that way, you know, I want to have backup. I want to be not the only one that's growing food like this. Like, what if I have a crop failure? I have all these customers that have demand for the product. I need backup. You know, so I'm thinking about my people that I feed. I'm thinking about these babies, these mamas. I'm trying to think about mamas, beautiful women and beautiful babies, and I'm trying to put good food in their mouths.
Like
And
they're
I need
up there
backup.
right now. I see them. There's some hungry ones up there. They're going crazy right now. They're
Yeah.
like super excited about this.
Okay,
I think,
honey,
like,
I'm sorry about the comment.
The
I'm
orange
sorry about the
vests are
comment.
getting a little uncomfortable, I think.
I know.
Alright, everybody, it's cool.
It's cool. I'm
Good.
sorry. I
Wow,
shouldn't have
that's
said it.
amazing. Wait to farm up. Come
Wake the
on.
farm
I'm
up.
so glad you shared that. Everybody obviously has really enjoyed what you just shared. That was a really well shared piece of your life and how you're feeling, where you're at, what you're looking for, and some of the ways and hopes that you hope to get to it. I think you could call your club Vertical Integration Club. It sounds tight, right? I mean, it's like the VIC. I don't know what that means.
I want you guys to all think about this though. How can you vertically integrate your life? Stop giving your value away. Stop giving yourself away. You just own your whole bit of yourself, every bit of it, and don't let any of it go to waste. And find those synergies and efficiencies with people and make the most of it. Like, you're this, I'm this, let's not fight that. Let's go with that. And let's take this yin and yang and these other energies and let's make the most of it. See, here's the thing about when you work together with people and you let differences go aside and you only focus on those least common denominators, the things that you have in common, right? Why am I going to constantly argue with you over these little things that don't even matter? Why don't we just focus on the things we have in common? And then let's go and let's do a shared project. Hey, how about me and you work together and make sure both of us have food? Whole year's worth of calories. Me and you, let's do a project. I don't care what we call it. We're going to call it me and you. And let's grow food. Wake the farm up, though. Seriously, though. Wake it up. Go get up.
Come in, and we'll see how the night goes here. We'll get you out here again at the end of the year.
I'm done.
Definitely.
I'm out.
Done. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's get another round here. Ryan Jones. Like some of you back here in the VIP zone, they got all ecosystem pass. Like you can connect with him. You know, he's a wonderful brother. Like love the farm, the earth. The elves love him. You know, people like.
He's with the actual form. He's with the actual form. He's with the actual form. He's with the actual form.
A lot of experiences I've had with this guy. I've known him for a long time. Long. And something that's important with climbing trees is when you climb up them, knowing if it's a hardwood or a softwood. If it's a softwood, sometimes branches could break really easy. So if you're up in a tree and you think it's a walnut tree, but it's actually an ailanthus and you're out on a limb somewhere, crack! Boom, you're dropping down, you can get really hurt. So you want to really know how to identify these trees, right?
You know,
So
I need to be
there's
fly.
different kinds of things that you have to figure out and different ways to climb up in them and all those kinds of stuff. So I'm excited to ask Simon about this tonight. But for the first part of it, of course, we're going to give him 2 minutes to share what he chooses to. Whatever he wants, 2 minutes, uninterrupted. He needs to wake the farm up. On.
Alright, I'm on. What's up? I'm Simon. So I want to talk about life and I want to talk about decisions. I've been making a lot of decisions lately in my life. I run a tree service and every day I'm faced with decisions. And one thing that I'm still processing is making sure you're making the right decision, right? So you always gotta try to make the right decision. And one thing that I just learned recently that I want to share is the most important thing about making a decision is making the decision. So you got to make that decision. You got to stick with that decision, and that's your decision. And you got to feel good about it. So that's the main thing I want to talk about is just making that decision. And so lately it's been getting colder, and there's been 10 of us working, and lately I've been thinking about having some guys slow down work just because it's getting cold and I don't want to work as much as I have been. So trying to slow down, and that's a tough decision, but basically what I came to was it's fine either way. It's like these guys are cool, everybody's cool, so just make the decision. And I encourage everyone to, like, if you're thinking about doing something, don't think about it too much. If you want to do it, do it. So, yeah.
That was beautiful, way too fun.
Yeah, I'm ready to learn.
I'm dedicated to that.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's your 2 minutes. Yeah, that was amazing. That was awesome.
Just make the decision. Go for it.
Yeah, like when you're trimming trees with a chainsaw and hanging from ropes.
Right. There's not too much time to think about what you're gonna do. You know, you just gotta do it.
I mean, you take your time though, right?
Yeah. You wanna analyze. First, you always gotta analyze. You gotta calculate. You always gotta be calculated. You always gotta calculate your decision.
Fibonacci sequence.
Calculate, and then take action. First, you gotta calculate. Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite quotes of yours. You know, it was what was it? Measure once, cut twice.
Right. Yeah. That's just making the decision. Not even calculating too much.
Cutting.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Just do it, and then.
Do you ever have to measure stuff? I mean, when you're hanging off a tree, you're not trying to be like, oh, we need to cut these at 6 feet length.
Well, today I had to measure. I was working for somebody up at some nice house up in East Walnut Hills, and the guy was outside, and the guy was just like freaking out because we had a big stump grinder that had to fit through a little walkway, and there's a couple stairs that are nice brick stairs, and the machine's got to go up the stairs and through this little walkway. And the guy wanted to take charge, and I'm like, hold on, like, let me just measure this and make sure it fits. Measure it, it's gonna fit, like, we're good. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, you gotta you measure things like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Getting machines through to things.
Yep.
So I know, knowing you for a long time, I know you've done tree work in other parts of the world too.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about some of the different trees that you've worked in before that you've had to prune in different places that we don't have here.
Yeah. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years. Right out of high school, I moved to Hawaii, and I worked for 3 years for a guy named Trent. He was just starting his tree service out there. And Hawaii is a wonderful place. It is like the best environment for growing that I have ever seen. Everything grows in Hawaii. Anything will grow in Hawaii. And it's amazing. It really is paradise. Except for there's not as many beaches as you might imagine. There's a lot more rock, and there's a lot more jungle. It's pretty much like the country. It's like countryside. It's just countryside, you know?
So you were on Big Island, or?
Yeah, I was on Big Island, yeah.
Okay, what part?
Kona.
Oh, okay, on Kona side?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
Hawaii has
what
more
Kona
beaches.
trees were you in there?
I was in all Kona trees, man. I was in big ones. I was in most of the palms, you know, they got those coconut trees. They got the coconut palm out there.
And you trim them, or you're collecting coconut?
Both. Yeah, both. If you're up in the tree, then you're getting the coconuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what you do.
So you go up, and you can go up pretty high, because coconut trees, actually, the rule that they had on the Big Island was you couldn't build a building taller than the tallest coconut tree. So, yeah, buildings were around, go like 70 feet.
70-foot tall coconut trees?
I don't know if that was fully authentically wrong. But still. For sure. But that was it's like a saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just so they know.
70-foot tall coconut trees, though. I've never seen that.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Pretty amazing, yeah.
It's like the ones, you know the ones in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen them get quite that tall. Maybe like 30 feet or something.
Yeah, like I said, I think the growing environment in Hawaii is like just perfect, you know. so things just freaking grow massive out there. Cause yeah, rain and soil and perfect weather all year round.
There's a lot of different softwoods, but there's some hardwoods too. Did you have to cut any hardwoods?
Yeah, so there's a tree called a monkey pod. A monkey pod's kind of like an oak tree here. So if you think about the oak tree, yeah.
Does it make acorns?
No. It has these little
just
pods
like
on
the way
it.
the way the structure of
The way it
are in the
grows.
forest here. And, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that's
monkey pod
pattern
is the oak.
thinking. That's definitely like a good loop and that kind of conversation. Like when you go to a tropical place or any different ecosystems, there's certain patterns that exist through all the ecosystems in life that you can kind of see. Like he's saying, this monkey pod tree is similar to how our oak tree is in our forests here.
Right.
So it really gives me like a good feeling and embodiment of what that tree is like in that forest there.
Yeah. There's similarities and trees there. I mean, they have some of the same. They have spruce trees out there and stuff like that. But for the most part, the trees in Hawaii are completely different from the trees in the Midwest. Yeah, they have banyan trees. I don't know if you've ever heard of those.
Yeah, they drip their vines down and then they root in and stuff.
Yeah, they'll root in everywhere, and I mean they'll just take over. Like if a little banyan tree was growing right in this part of the room, after 20 years, the banyan tree would just take over this entire house. It grows super fast and it has no chill.
Like how fast are you talking about?
A couple feet a year.
Couple feet a year. Wow.
The Hilo banyans.
Hilo banyans.
I lived with the wood. I lived on Big Eye for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fam out there, tons of fam. But koa wood.
Koa
wood.
Okay.
That's the wood.
That's kind of like a dark orange.
Koa, mango, monkey pod,
Mangoes
and some other tropical hardwoods. But koa is the most expensive hardwood in Hawaii for
And
sure.
the sandalwood, that's what they make that incense.
Really
out of,
nice.
Oh yeah.
Sandalwood.
Yeah. That was always my little joke with that one was that which medicinal oil can you put on your flip flops to make it feel better? Sandalwood. Yeah. So you just put that on and it makes your feet smell better again until you land until you get some water. So. Yeah, that's fascinating. That you were up in trees. One of the things I've seen in tree climber pictures from Hawaii is there's often little lizards and chameleons.
Right up in the tree.
Are they chameleons or what are they?
So there's geckos.
Geckos.
Yeah, there's a lot of geckos out there.
Yeah, so you're just trying to trim a tree branch and make these quick decisions, and also this little dude pops up and he's trying to sell you insurance and shit. What would they do when they scurry away from you? Would they have different little outfits on?
All that. The geckos, man, they get all up in your face and they're rude. They're rude, but they're hunters too. They hunt. They go after those. They hunt. They practically. They would haunt you because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a little gecko running around. So.
Do they jump at you or anything like that?
Definitely. Yeah, they would. And you might try to smack it and then you'd hit its tail and then it would run away, but you'd still have its tail and then its tail would be wiggling in your hand.
Okay.
And you'd be like, oh my god, this is horrible.
Wow.
Yeah. And some people would you could capture them,
Feed them papaya. You could feed them one papaya, feed them a little shave ice, anything like that. They'll come over around. You can leave some sweet on the table.
Bananas. You can catch.
Yeah.
Can you eat them?
Yeah. They're not
Can you eat
scary.
them?
They used to run through my house.
Chicken.
Have you eaten chicken?
No.
You just
Maybe
cook
they're
them up.
accumulating
They
calcium.
I wouldn't eat it.
You put it in a bun down, you put some, you know, some chili on it, you know, serve you a skyline, you know.
Do they have the little legs like sticking out of the sandwich? I was just up in a tree, and this tree climber just threw me in a bucket, took me down to this little food truck stand. Like, then you could be in the freaking club with our last guest, Ryan Doan, and like, you could be like, yeah, I have my own food truck, and we sell chameleons around trees. So we're doing like vertical integration here. We've got two businesses going. We're trimming the trees, and we're throwing these little farmers into the bucket here. Like, what do you think about the trees here in this city? I mean, it's amazing. If you look at like photographs of Cincinnati in the early 1900s, there's hardly any big trees.
Right, yeah, I've
All
been
these
thinking a
little
lot about
flecks,
that.
little flecks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like you look around in Cincinnati, for everybody that's been to Cincinnati or lives in Cincinnati, it's green. This is a green city. We live in a green city. And it's amazing, you know, because you go out to these suburbs that they're developing outside of the city, and you don't get that. You know, you don't get that same feeling. You know, you don't get that.
You climb up like onto a roof of a house or up into a tree that actually has like a branch that's fallen out, so you can see a good view of rooftops. And it's just like a cloud cover of green in the summertime with little peaks sticking out everywhere.
Right.
That's Cincinnati, yeah.
We live in a
rolling
forest.
hills.
We live in a forest in Cincinnati. It's a city, but it's a green city. It's a beautiful place. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. I like thinking about how you know, all these trees are still young here. You know, there's a lot more young trees than there are old trees. You know, there's a lot of big trees on the way. You know, there's a lot of old trees on the way. And that's wonderful for the future, and that's you know, a wonderful thing to be a part of, you know. And yeah, for my living,
like nurture certain forests where large trees are growing together and thinning areas, so some of them can like advance in succession a little bit more healthy and grow into an older ancient tree.
Right.
So what is some of the oldest trees or oldest tree even perhaps that you know in the Cincinnati area?
So I've noticed a lot of elm trees. Elm trees get really big, and elm trees can have wonderful character. You know, it takes a little while to start noticing them, but their branching structure is phenomenal because they'll go out, you know, they'll go out. I don't know if you've ever been down to Florida, but in Florida they have live oak trees.
Yep.
And the cool thing about the live oak trees is, you know, they got those long reaching branches with all that Spanish moss on them, you know, and man, those are beautiful to see. And yeah, so we got elms here, like,
can you eat that moss?
It's not even Spanish. That's one thing I do want to clarify though. It is actually native to southern Florida and up into Georgia, and I'm not even sure how it became called Spanish, but it's Spanish and it's moss, like, so like I still wonder if it was originally like a lot, like it was just people like on the beach saying like a lot of Spanish came through here or something, like moss Spanish. I'm not sure, so, but it's really beautiful. Yeah, I've got to have some experiences with that moss recently. And those live oak trees, they are so live for sure, like the big ones. So one of the tallest trees in our ecosystem here, the tree that grows the tallest as we know of science right now is the tulip poplar tree. Like some of them can reach heights known of like 160 feet, I believe. What's the tallest tree that you've climbed?
Oh man, I climbed a eucalyptus in Hawaii. It was probably like 150 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, eucalyptus are cool.
Wow.
Eucalyptus are awesome.
I bet that smelled good when you were up in there too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a good view from the top of there too? Was there a lot of other large eucalyptus trees around it? Okay.
Yeah,
There's a thick forest of eucalyptus. Right?
Yeah, eucalyptus trees, yeah. That was Yeah, it's nice view. Yeah, big. I can see like big lake. Pretty cool.
I mean, just to get an idea of a 150-foot tree, like average, if you took a building in a city and averaged, every 10 foot being about a floor, that's a like 15, like 15-foot floor there. Like that goes up pretty high. Yeah, the tallest tree I ever climbed up in was over 300 feet tall, but I got to about the 260 something feet part. And it was a tree that was over 1,000 years old. Jeez. And it was out in the Willamette National Forest in Oregon. It was amazing though, like from the ground you could see other people and they looked like tiny little like diorama toy sets at like the History Museum or something, like.
How long does that take?
It probably was about maybe an hour and a half climb.
Wow, climb that.
The ride down is amazing though. It's almost like controlled time speed free falling for a while, just down through the canopy layers, and you see the different mosses like hanging off the bark and the different pockets where there's mushrooms growing. So you slowly drip down through all the layers of green until you get to the bottom and your friends are actually the same size as you again.
Dude, that ant is growing and growing and growing.
Do you have feelings like at the end of a work day when you finally get back on the ground, it's all done, it's just like you just feel like a sense of relaxed, or is it more relaxing to be up in a tree?
Well, it changes as time goes on. As I climb more, I'm probably more relaxed in the tree than on the ground. Yeah. But in the beginning when you're learning, you're like, holy shit, get me out of this tree. But once you've been climbing trees for a while, then start to want to just be in the tree.
Yeah, I remember, a lot of tree projects preferring to be the guy in the tree, because if you're not the guy in the tree, you're the guy on the ground that's like dragging bundles around everywhere, and you gotta like try to feed it through these chippers that some other dude brought to, chip it with, and it's like vibrating your elbows off. Just like I could be up in there like swinging around like Peter Pan.
Something like that, I bet, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you got like pixie dust on you like when you're up there.
I'm flying, just flying around. Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys make like videos and stuff?
No, I should.
Oh.
I was thinking about doing that.
I did a drum thing for a tree guy.
I think you should do a video, get like a DJ to show up there and play music for it and stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Montage.
And have it roped off, so it's all safe, Yeah, I think people
Velvet
love
ropes.
watching tree surgery happen. It's amazing, really, watching these guys climb around up in trees, like making ropes in different places, making the loops.
It's amazing what the human is capable of.
Tell us some of the loopholes that you tell us some of the loopholes in being a human that you found. They love this. They love where you're going with this. Let's keep going.
Yeah, some of the loopholes.
The loopholes in this, like, human experience. Immediately you do the ropes, right?
Yeah, you got ropes. Yeah, just for starters. Yeah, you can do a lot with a rope. You can fucking climb a tree with a rope. You can go up 300 feet with a rope. Just a rope. All you need is a rope.
Just a long rope.
Yeah, just a long rope.
A long rope, a big rope. Big rope.
Some of some Tarzan type stuff.
Right.
That's what the tree I was going up that was that high was just one rope.
Right.
So you're just going up it with like 2 different connector points on it, but you're just sliding those up one at a time and like climbing up that shit forever.
Forever. That's a long time.
But then from up there, we would use like crossbows and launch shit over to other trees.
Oh, there you go.
And then there's another way that you can climb these trees. It's a type of girdling, but you're using a belt.
Oh.
So when the tree is like 10 foot diameter at the base, you can put 2 basically like ratchet straps that you would get like at the hardware store, tie down some stuff on your truck or your Honda Civic or whatever, you're trying to strap something onto the roof, you want to go boating with your friends, you want to try to catch up with Doan and the dudes who were like making a fire and cooking some fish up north somewhere. So you need those straps, right? So anyway, there's straps, and you can climb up these trees and get 2 of them. You sling one of them up, and then you put your weight on it and take your weight off the other one. Sling that up, and you take your weight and put it onto that one. And you can just keep going up the tree all the way until you get to the top. Yeah. And then when you're up there, you can retrieve the little dart that you sent over with the crossbow. Tie a rope onto it, you know, it like already have it on the other side and just pull it over to you and then attach it. And then we were zip lining across there from like 200 something feet off the ground, just free. Like, we had 2 ropes, you know, so like if one of them failed, there was still an attachment. It was amazing. That's when I lost all sense of fear of heights. You know, that's when I was okay with heights.
You can fly if you got a rope. Swings, you know, swings are awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
Right, yeah. And that's what I look forward to now when I climb, is I just want to swing, you know. When you're a kid, like, you want to go on a swing, right? Something about just swinging, you know, it's just pretty appealing.
That's amazing, yeah.
So, yeah, I like
try to swing over to another part of the tree. And,
I mean, are you Tarzan when you win the tree?
Trying to, yeah.
He's eating the chameleons and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Like
first you gotta eat what goes in the tree, and then, you know, you'll be one with the tree. You gotta eat the tree, I guess. But yeah, anyway, yeah. I guess a loophole is friendship, you know? Make friends, you know, you gotta make friends. You gotta be friends with people, and you gotta spend time with people, and yeah, you gotta be a good person, yeah, and you gotta do stuff, yeah. Do stuff, yeah.
Witch department, we're all about activating. And we like to walk the talk, we like to talk the walk. It's either one thing when we're walking and talking. If you do a lot of talking and walking, you gotta walk it like you're talking. You gotta talk it like you're walking. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do it right. You gotta do it all the time. You gotta stay true to yourself. You gotta motivate yourself. You gotta get up. You gotta do it. You gotta get it. You gotta do it. You gotta roll it. If I'm talking to you, you better know it. I'm stepping forward. I'm stepping proud. You know me and my boys, we're ready to get loud. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go all the way. I'm ready to go all night. Hey, and I'm here to stay. I'm here, boys. Let's keep rocking and let's keep holding it down. I'm swinging in the trees and I'm not a motherfucking clown. Yeah! I'm ready to make some jumps. I'm ready to hop and I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'm ready. Is that working? Yep. Listen to the reggae all day. You know how me and my boys, we get down and we're here to stay. I like smoking on the ganja. I like smoking on the bud. Me and my blood, and we up in here. We're having a good time. On the team, the tea is so damn good. That shit is marvelous, and I'm here in the hood. I'm chilling in some house. I'm with me and my boys. We're here to make some noise. I'm here to set it down. I'm here to put it down. I'm here and I'm ready with my boys. Yeah, I got the audience. Yeah, the audience is rocking. We're rolling. Bad boys in the house, bad boys in the house, you know we get silent and I'm silent like I'm out. Bad boys in the house, we got some bad boys in the house, let's rock and roll, rolling and my boys we ready to go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, yeah, it's here, hey! I see him dropping them off to mushroom growers, see him dropping them off to small furniture carvers and makers. Simon Burkey, thank you. How we all feeling? I'm looking forward to hearing what Howie's got to say when nobody interrupts him for 2 minutes. Because Howie's a very humble guy. He's somebody that often will see people maybe interrupt for a little bit, but he'll come back to it. He's got good loops. I'm looking forward to this, Howie. Thank you, and the sands of time are yours.
Alright, good. That's better.
I want to talk about being the forest garden. I think that's where it's at, because we live in a forest, as we were just told by through Simon. We just, trees want to be all around us, so we need to get to know our trees. Sounds like some folks know their trees here, and we need to learn how to, climb them. That's part of it, but also what grows underneath those trees. Like, can we grow tomatoes under those trees? No, not really. But there are lots of good plants that do grow under those trees. And, speaking of warm places, down in Guatemala and that area, there's some remaining Mayan forest gardens that are there. It's just incredibly diverse, hundreds of species,
Tell us about
all with all these uses. And, they didn't do that in a year. They did that in 8,000 years. So we have remnants of that here. We just need to learn how to eat our acorns and play with the squirrels. Eat the squirrels too. Squirrels are good. Even better than squirrels, the giant squirrels, the groundhogs. One, they're eating all your veggies, but they also taste great because they're eating all your veggies.
Wow.
So let's get to know them a little better as well. And yeah, it's really exciting in the forest. We just get to learn so many new life forms, and I think hunting's great in the forest as well. And with a dog companion, I recommend a canine to help you hunt. They really do.
Wait the farm up. I'm giving it to him. That's 2 minutes. I'm giving him straight up like farm up certified. That's legit.
I like that one, guys.
He wants to talk about forest garden. I'm ready. This is amazing. This is like.
We need more of that. We need more.
Do you want to finish more about the dog part, hunting with the dog, or can we go back to what you want to share any more about the ancient Mayans, forest gardens, what you know about that? I'm really curious about that.
Okay, yeah, let's go into that.
I saw this lady over here, just totally swoon. That was up in the balcony up there. See the third one up? Yeah. That lady,
Thank you. So the Maya forest gardens, they're people that they had a huge society, almost as dense as ours population-wise, but they didn't mess things up. They just made it better and better. It's they weren't paving the roads or just driving everywhere. They were literally just hanging out in their community, and they even had a government they had to pay taxes to. But the government help was this farmers actually keep us a government, so it was a very mutual sort of relationship. So anyway, I keep finding that all these old cultures that our colonial folks killed, they did things really well, and it's just good to remember that. Yeah, that's kind of
It brings me back to we were talking about biodynamics before, which is a practice that started in the early 1900s. So this is a loop. And in the early 1900s, people looked at it as woo-woo. Over time now, it's a lot of it's been looked at as a science. We've got a lot more microbial knowledge now than we did in the early 1900s. So it's really showing hey, this is working. Maybe we don't understand why all these different things work, but that's how they work. That's how things break down in the soil and turn into these certain biodynamic preps, right? So looping in with this. Loop it.
Okay, looping it to building nutrition in the soil and holding water. When trees, they drop all those leaves and they get their roots all deep in the ground and stuff, that's just bringing up all those minerals and making it so that there's more great fluffy soil on top. Actually, okay, here's a fun kind of side thing, but I learned that worms, they shouldn't be in the forest. There should be very few worms in the forest.
Really?
What do you mean they shouldn't be?
Literally worms naturally are not in mature long-term forests, because think about all the oak leaves, the tannins that are with that.
So what happens when there are?
When they are, if you've been in an old growth forest and you step off the trail, it's a big sponge that you sink into. It's very very fluffy, almost, you could say. But it's like things aren't breaking down and they're lasting a long time. So you have this huge
layer mulch.
Yeah, exactly. You just have this huge kind of pillow layer. But then when the worms are there, they make it break down really fast. So then all those bigger things that hold it like a pillow, it then kind of sinks down like a little fluffy sandy top layer, which then doesn't hold as much water and really destabilizes a lot of that forest system. So that was interesting. But then of course, like a more bacteria-rich annual garden, you want a lot of worms because you want things to cycle through really quickly. So just seeing those different processes and how much worms matter. Yeah.
I think a lot of that is the differences between a fungal dominant soil and a bacterial dominant soil. So bacterial dominant soils will be more like early succession, like open fields, like when you till a garden, that chop up the soil and whatnot. It's a brand new succession. It's going to turn into a forest eventually, and we hope, unless there's like some serious droughtage, some other thing like that. That's happened in history before. But you just turn those nutrients over there, you can grow things in a more bacteria-rich soil, and there's a lot of plants that are going to thrive in that, where other plants aren't going to thrive in that quite as well. But if you have mixtures of things, like you'll have rows that are more fungally dominated, you can start to plant more shrubs and plants in there, while you still have your bacteria-dominated plants nearby. There's like brackish water, almost like this realm that can exist between, where certain plants will do fine in both of those.
Yeah, just different plants. One likes bacteria, one likes fungus. Yeah. That's great.
So I always get like kind of intrigued when somebody would say that the worms shouldn't be there. Like, why would they be there? And where do you think it could go in a positive way, like in a hopeful way, from where a certain soil type would be, where perhaps you find some earthworms in the city, they started from like along the street or something, so the worms are able to start replicating into the foliage of leaf fall.
Well, I don't think it's like they shouldn't be there. Like, they're just playing a different role. So I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, it's just gonna move around how they move. They're their own little living creature, and they're gonna eat what they can eat. So that's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah, some of the dudes from the dudes getting together group, I think they were probably they were like totally like getting rid of all the worms just by fishing.
That's a great use. Yeah.
Have you ever had any other use? I guess you can use them to feed chickens and things like that. I mean, wherever I have chickens, the worms aren't usually doing too good.
Oh yeah, the chickens, they eat them up.
Robins, I mean, whenever I turn a little bit of soil to plant like a tree or something, little robins come looking to see if any worms popped out somewhere. You see that?
Yeah, especially after rain. Yeah, they're all up there. Yeah.
Extracting all of it at once. How do you kind of keep it thriving, but make a living from some tape?
What's that mean, make a living? What's that mean, make a living? What's that mean, make a living? What's that mean, make a living?
There's so many different variables, like what stage of grounds are you working on? Is it a forest already? Is it grass field? Is it an old cornfield? Is it an old abandoned building that maybe you're going to smash half of it out and turn that into like a patio garden kind of thing? Like, is it a rooftop garden? Like, how deep do you think you would need it to make a rooftop pawpaw like garden? Like, to actually do a rooftop, like planting orchards of pawpaw trees with integrated other plants on a rooftop of a skyscraper in a city.
That just sounds like a bad idea to me. Yeah, that's the amount of energy and work to like get the soil up there and like build the structure and everything.
They have these like tubular machines. They're amazing. These giant trucks, and they have this like tube, and they'll add attachments, and they'll go up like 60-something floors, and they'll just shoot it in. There'll be a dude up there, sleeves rolled up, like just sweating muscles, just spitting the soil out on the ground. Like as you go, it's like a paintbrush, just spitting out like a foot of soil per second. It's, blip, 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 blip. It's like Minecraft, except it doesn't come out in squares, it comes out in like organic like textures. You know, entropy where they just like distribute where they go to, like gravitational pull and.
So the tube's just pooping out a bunch of good soil. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, maybe then you have these like barrels, you know, where it fits right in, and that area could have a deeper area because pawpaws like to have a deeper taproot. And then maybe you would only need like 3 feet of soil everywhere else, and then like where they are, it's like got that extra like 5 foot, so maybe they get a good 8 foot. Yeah. Maybe they don't get as tall. They probably don't need to be as tall if they're up on top of a skyscraper where they're getting all windbreak.
Just keep them cut down about 3 feet. Yeah.
You know, you feel that. You felt that windbreak before. Like that's why you like. Do you grow your beard out? Like how long have you had your beard? It's fine beard, Howie.
It just comes and goes, you know. It's very seasonal, but I don't know.
Do you feel like it helps like keep away from some of the windbreak and the winter?
Oh, for sure. It breaks the wind, and it's warm. Ladies like it, you know. There's many advantages. So.
Do you think that it like?
See, the lady likes it. Good, yeah.
That was the lady with the beard up there.
That looks good on her too. Well, I mean, you have the trees growing, you are helping the soil be happy, and it doesn't mean I can't have a bunch of good annuals and various other crops around my perennial trees. But I mean, it does take a lot of management, just like annual gardening takes a lot of management. I mean, the perennial harvest will keep coming, but
you gotta do it.
You gotta keep them happy, and you gotta do it, and you gotta keep the honeysuckle out, and you gotta keep the winter creeper, and euonymus, and all of that. So I mean, just how the forest is today, it's still a lot of work. But I'm not trying to make all my money from a forest purely garden. Like, I'm about to do a CSA this next year. It's going to be a mix of perennials and annuals. Cool. And that's because I know I can't make money just perennial-wise until I have a bunch of huge hickory trees and that sort of thing where I can actually get a bunch of good nuts yearly. But, you know, that's going to be probably, like, a really long time. So, but thinking ahead, maybe my children, my friends' children, maybe they will... Hopefully, the intention is that they're then going to have a lot of food produced, and then it's also creating all this big canopy. If you're like worried about carbon and stuff, holding so much carbon, it's just like a longer term thought process. Like, I think, okay, the traditional milpa system, which is this Mayan garden type thing, it was a multi-generational system. Like, yeah, they might burn an area, or a tree falls down, that sort of thing. And then they're like, all right, now we have more sunlight here. We need to plant our corn. Where's our corn? That was their main staple, and we can grow that here.
Yeah, but there's some corn back there. Yeah, people got hungry again. There's some food. There's still some food trucks, and we will have a little celebration here afterwards too. So there'll probably still be some corn left there too.
Okay, is the corn with the mushrooms?
It tastes great with the mushrooms. Have you tried that yet?
I have not tried it.
It's like its own little like tostada. Like in one little moment there with the oyster mushroom, it tastes like oysters to me.
On top of the cookies. That's okay. Yeah. All right. That sounds good.
But I mean, I just to answer like the guy in the symphony's like dying question too. I just want to chime in on that a little bit too. How do you make a living?
What's that mean? Make a living?
Like, what does that mean? Like, how do you make a living? Like, you're living with it. That's how you like. That's what we're trying to bring to this. You know, whole wake the farm up concept is like, how are we like as creatures, animals, humans of the earth, like integrating and living with it? How are these things integrating into our lives? How are they, becoming parts of our bodies? But as we eat them or sprinkle them onto our salad, or how we interchange that and trade them with other people who are harvesting or collecting things. So I know Howie and I have seen each other at a lot of interesting potlucks where people have brought together a lot of fascinating foraged foods. And one of the early ones I remember from you actually having memory of things was the ginkgo nuts. And the ginkgo is a tree that's known for boosting your brain and memory and enhancing your nerve systems in those realms. And it's a wonderful nut, like when they're roasted. And I remember that was like an early on meeting this guy adventure.
Get through the stinky fruit, wash it off, and then you got these nice little nuts that you roast, and they taste very good actually. But usually it's people don't try it, so may as well try it. Except for really traditional like Chinese folks, they're like, oh, we love ginkgo, you know, the other side of the world. They're like, eat it all the time. So
it's like the Zobel octave, the carnelian dogwood cherry.
Yeah.
The calcium producing tree. But they also produce a little cherry on them that is known as the Zobel octave by the Iranians. And I remember some Iranians were out at my place and they started eating them and they were telling me about Zobel octave and we looked it up and that's exactly the same thing. And yeah, it's just interesting like how these things will just show up for people and they'll just be ready to dive in, where most people I've brought straight to the tree, they don't like them. They like them after I prepare them into something maybe. They're super tart. Are you familiar with those carnelian cherries?
Right off the tree.
Yeah.
Right off the tree.
They're good off the tree.
Good off the tree. They're good on the bud too.
On the
Good
bud.
on the bud, right. Little toast, a little chameleon.
That's right.
Yeah. Make some ketchup with it. Some calcium-rich tomatoes. Yeah.
Now I'm hungry again.
Hey, I think I am too. We're going to have to wrap this show up. Howie, I'd love for you to come back. I know we have a lot more to talk about. I'd love to explore more forest gardening conversations with you. I think everybody out here knows that's something that's one of my favorite things to talk about and loop into the conversation wherever I go. That's what we're doing here. So thanks for coming to Waking the Farm up here. Alright, now we're going to have a little fun. Y'all welcome to kick it for a bit. We'll probably keep it in the 40s one. That was an amazing show. I loved how we, I don't know how many times I said loop and we looped that all together. And there's some loops that just went where they went. And came, just things came together. It was really cool. I really appreciate Ryan Doan again. Let's all give it up to Ryan Doan. Wonderful conversation with so much passion and bring so much through on that. We got Simon Burkey.
Never thought about it.
We got Simon Burkey. Let's give it up for Simon Burkey. Let's give it up for all his stories of trees and entertaining. Like we got Howie. Thank you for keeping us hyped up for forest gardening Loops here tonight. Thank you everybody. I'm glad I did get a note. The guy whose head exploded earlier was alright. He actually had 2 heads, so it worked out. He's feeling better than he ever had before. He's making decisions way faster, especially after all this like calculation and thinking about the human trees doing it. So, thank you again. Sticking it up for Stefan over here. He's been kicking some sound and some video even tonight. So maybe what he's been able to do is like his own music that he puts together that makes it part of this show, so it's so unique. It's never been like but just like what his table he's bringing out here. And go look up his website. Tell us about your website. I want to shout that out so people can look that up and see what the DJ over here is sharing.
SDEFIN101.com. Go in there, see some of the stuff I've done, and keep connecting, building with the music. It's the idea, like, how do you present? If you loop into that, how do you present yourself when you are that person who's also done all the production, done all the thing, you kind of like stand on your own to like present that out to the world on this little, so what is that, and how do you share that? So, and it is, and I love making loops. It's fun to build off of, but yeah, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, give it up for Stefan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you everybody. You know, don't forget to fill out the forms with the guys in the orange vest on the way out. You know, like we appreciate you being here and just really need to know about these oysters. Like, did you think they tasted like oysters? Like, we're up here, like, so far from the ocean, and they taste like oysters. It's like, I remember the first time I wanted to try this, I just, like, cooked them up just straight up in a skillet. I don't even know if I've had oysters that much before that weren't, like, dipped in batter and, like, from Captain D's or some sneeze like that that's gonna be all battered up and, like, so then I even tried it one time where I took the acorn flour and I battered them up and I cooked them up like that. And that was really good if you like battered seafood and you're not that close to the sea, but you're close to some logs that are having mushrooms growing off of them that taste like that and have all the nutrients of that. You have like 14 grams of protein per serving, which is just like a lot. Like, that's just like a couple of spoonfuls of that is like a serving. And there's so many other nutrients in there. It's good for your cardiovascular, wakens you, connects your nerve system, nurtures it, your immune system. And it's just like simple food, you know, oysters. I don't care what they taste like, it doesn't matter to me. That's what I voted. It doesn't matter to me, like, I'll call them oysters, why not? When my dad was a kid, bell peppers were called mangoes. When they're ripe. When they're green bell peppers. But when they got ripe and turned red, orange, purple, they were mangoes. That's amazing, right? Just like how time's gone by where we got grocery stores where we actually can get mangoes. So we actually know what mangoes like in the tropics are called, and like we like calling them that, and we don't call peppers mangoes anymore in this part of the world, but
Man, we gotta go.
that's how it was. Things changed. We're moving through. Thanks for coming to Wake the Farm Up podcast. Look forward to more episodes coming from the Mother Farming Elf. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. That was a really fun show. So just going forward here, we want to ask you how the show has inspired you. What parts of it have you really enjoyed? Maybe if you share that with us, we can share it on the next episode or an episode in the future. So we're just welcoming you another way to join us in this show and this experience. We hope you have a great time. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Just do a search. It's the easiest way I can tell you to find it. Wake the Farm Up, Maintaining Ground Podcast. Subscribe. I always hate when they say that, so I'm trying to make it funny. Subscribe. I don't even know what that means, but subscribe. And hey, we hope you have the best day ever that you can possibly have. That's the loop, though. Look forward to seeing you soon.
That's what I'm talking about. Wake the farm up, yo.
Farm up.